This school is a distinctly Midwestern style of architecture that is built horizontally rather than vertically in order to complement and run parallel with the flat horizon of the Great Plains, all these flatlands out here. Now, there's something a little bit weird about the Reed Murdoch Center. We're going to figure out what it is together. We're going to count the columns of windows from the center. So on the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns of windows. On the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns of windows. Yes, it's a little bit lopsided. It wasn't always like this though. Prior to 1930, it was 6 and 6. But then in 1930, Chicago wanted to extend LaSalle Street, which is the bridge we are about to go under. They didn't want to have to demolish the building. They didn't want to have to rebuild it in some way, so they just opted to lop a section off. They left it a little bit off kilter, and they used some nice architectural optical illusions to make it look like it might still be even to the naked eye. Now the Reed Murdoch Center houses the River Roast and the Cut, some great restaurants here on the river. Also the headquarters for Encyclopedia Britannica, which apparently was a book at one point. Just a baby. Might be the worst joke I tell today, so thank you. All right, up above Wells Street, you're going to see a behemoth of a limestone structure. This is the Merchandise Mart. The Merchandise Mart's function is pretty much just that. It houses showrooms for furniture giants, warehouses for retail giants, and office spaces galore. There are 73 football fields worth of office space in that building alone. That front facade spans 2.5 acres. Makes it still in the top 50 largest buildings in the world today. When it was completed in 1930, it was the largest building in the world in square footage. Had its own zip code up until the year 2008. This is Art Deco architecture by Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White. We know it's Art Deco architecture because, first of all, it is very large. Second of all, we have these limestone pillars going up the sides and this forward, upward momentum. Is anybody here from Indiana? Indiana, folks? You're from Indiana? Oh, South Bend. Well, thank you. We source all of our limestone from the beautiful state of Indiana. Appreciate it. Now, these arrows on the bottom are pointing either direction, indicating progress. There's a lot of gold accents throughout. It's very large, very grandiose, very in your face. It personifies the Roaring '20s here in America. Now, the Roaring '20s came to a pretty abrupt end in 1929 due to the Great Depression. The Great Depression, the stock market crash, and the Merchandise Mart was finished in 1930. So by the time it was done, Graham, Anderson, Probst, and White and their investors were hemorrhaging money. They had to get this liability off their hands quickly. They sold it for a fraction of its worth at $12.5 million, which is nothing for a building that large. They sold it to a pretty prominent American family, the Kennedys. Now we're passing into one of the most beautiful places in Chicago, in my humble opinion, Wolf Point. Wolf Point is the convergence of the Chicago River. Anybody looking to go to St. Louis, they can take the South Branch. Anybody looking to go to Skokie, Illinois, they can take the North Branch. This area here has become a hotbed for new architecture in the past 30 to 35 years. Right here to the right is the Salesforce Tower, completed in 2023, the newest building in downtown. In front of the boat is the River Point Tower, or the Hot Pocket building, as I like to call it. Looks like a Hot Pocket. Come on, give me that one. Completed in 2017. Now, why was it not a hotbed before that? It was because this was the nastiest part of the Chicago River for a very long time. All the muck and grime and trash would come down from the north side, up from the south side. It would meet right here. It looked terrible. It smelled terrible. Nobody wanted to work here or be here or live here. That is until Chicago cleaned up the river, and now architects are clamoring to get their hands on this real estate. Underneath the River Point Tower, you'll see some ventilation fans that are for the Amtrak and Metro tracks running underneath the city. Causes some weird dilemmas for architects as they build in this area. Don't want to mess up anyone's morning commute to work. It's a little bit of foreshadowing. We'll talk more about that on the South Branch. As we're to the North Branch, we'll get a look at some of the past chapters in Chicago's history, beginning with the Carroll Avenue Railroad Bridge to the right of the boat. The oldest bridge that we'll talk about on our tour today, dating back to 1908, sticking straight up into the sky. And if you look at the back, you'll see a big stone slab on the back of that bridge. That's a counterweight. When that counterweight goes up, bridge goes down. Counterweight goes down, bridge goes up. Call that a bascule bridge. That is French for seesaw. It's the same way that every other bridge in this city works. It's just that the Carroll Avenue is old enough that that counterweight is above ground instead of below ground. I'd like to point it out so you can see how it works. To the left is the Fulton House. The Fulton House is a pink brick building, the oldest building on our tour, dating back to 1898. Its original function was as a cold storage facility for meat packing plants. It was a beating heart of Chicago's economy for a very long time. Now, after that industry kind of died down in this city, architect Harry Weiss wanted to turn these into apartments. It's a pretty big undertaking for